is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Welcome to game 162 here in Seattle. The Angels obviously won't play till Thursday of the American League Division Series, but for Seattle, they are trying to make a wild card. It's the final game of the regular season. From inside Safeco Field, we welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and it's a very important game for the Seattle Mariners with Oakland losing last night and Seattle picking up the victory in extra innings. They are now one game back of the Oakland Athletics, who are taking on the Texas Rangers, and of course they've got King Felix on the hill going today.
Yeah, you want your ace, Victor, on the mound, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well of late against the Angels, especially the last game out. Take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind. He was dominant. Went 7 shutout innings. He had his changeup going. Very good sink on his changeup. His slider, his curveball, which he used a little bit earlier in the game to be more effective. 11 punch-outs, 7 shutout innings. They eventually won that game late. Bottom line is his stuff was great. He's been very good this season against the Angels, but in the past, though, when you look at his numbers against the Angels, overall his record, 10-13 in his career. But Mike Trout, who's batting number 2 in the lineup today, he's had some good numbers, almost a 400 batting average, including 2 home runs. In that game, he's going to be able to swing the bat well against him today. Try to add on to the home runs and RBIs against King Felix.
Yeah, the Angels pretty much have their everyday lineup in there. I can't imagine they're going to go very deep into this ballgame, but we'll see how Mike Scioscia plays it as Corey Rasmus and the bullpen will get the start against Felix Hernandez. Mentioned it's an important game for Seattle. A lot of important games throughout baseball. We'll get you caught up with playoff implications when we return. 162, and it is an important one for the Seattle Mariners as they've got the yellow towels out today. The king and his court as Felix Hernandez makes his way in. He's just about ready. Mentioned that there's some important games throughout baseball. A couple of them have been finals, so some of the questions have been answered. The Tigers have clinched the American League Central, while the Royals are losing to the White Sox. Kansas City will host the wild card on Tuesday at Kauffman Stadium. The question that remains, Mark, is whether or not Texas comes back and if Seattle can defeat the Angels here this afternoon.
Well, Seattle has exactly who they want on the mound in King Felix, and it's a close one down in Texas also. 2-0 Oakland leads that one at this point, but a no-hitter thrown also in this game. This last day of the year, how fantastic has it been for baseball?
That no-hitter was against the Marlins and Henderson Alvarez, who threw a no-hitter to end last year.
Who knew?
Who knew? 162 is always important. We're just about ready for baseball here in Seattle. Early afternoon here in Seattle. The sun is yet to appear as we play with the roof open. A little different temperatures than what we saw in the first couple of games of the series. They're very mild temperatures, but ball probably will not travel as well as it did on Friday night. We saw a lot of balls carrying yesterday. But the 2 one-run games, 2 one-run losses for the Angels. They've got their pretty much everyday lineup out there to face Felix Hernandez. Let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's starting 9 for the Angels in this last game of the regular season. The Halos at 98 and 63 have Cole Calhoun leading things off at right, Mike Trout at center. Albert will serve as a DH today. Howie Kendrick at second, Eric Ibar at short, David Freese at third, EFREN NAVARRO gets you started at left, C.J. Cron at first base, and Conger will bat ninth and do the catching as they take on the 29-year-old right-hander native of Valencia, Venezuela. Felix Hernandez not only looking to pick up a victory here, but also make a statement as far as the American League Cy Young Award.
Yeah, huge star for him on every different front for Felix Hernandez. Fastball is 91 to 95. A little better, more consistent velocity this year on the fastball. Slider, curveball, very good changeup. All 4 of his pitches are pluses. Mentioned 14-game winner, but to be successful against Hernandez today, be aggressive on his fastball. He challenges hitters early on with his fastball, square it up, and create runs with your legs. He is susceptible to the stolen bases, giving up 20 stolen bases in 25 attempts.
Take a look at the defense behind him today. It's pretty much the lineup we've seen all weekend long for Lloyd McClendon. It's Ackley, Jackson, Saunders in the outfield from left to right. Seager, Taylor, CANO, and Morrison from third to first. Zanino, their catcher.
And Michael Saunders out in right field. The guy with good coverage has never committed error in that position in right field. Played 107 games in right, no errors. Does have one outfield assist in right field this year.
Well, the Angels, throughout their history, have had pretty good numbers against Felix Hernandez. This year, a very different story. 4 starts against the Halos, 2-0 and a .94 ERA for Felix Hernandez. 28 2/3 innings, 40 strikeouts, and opponents, the Angels that is, have hit just 134 against the righty. First one today is outside, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Adrian Johnson calling the balls and strikes today. Chad Fairchild at first, Dan Bellino at second, Bill Miller, the crew chief, at third. Felix does not waste a whole lot of time as Dalvin catches the corner, and it evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 59 degrees at first pitch here this afternoon.
It is officially the fall right now.
Yeah. Cole last night went 0 for 4, hitting .273 on the season as the breaking ball shot foul into the seats. And it is 1-2. Another great crowd here. They realized last night as this game went into extra innings the importance of today's game. A lot of tickets sold last night and early this morning.
Maybe they sell like 10,000 right after that run scored last night. Amazing.
There's the 1-2. Cole strikes out to start the ball game.
Hyundai key for this game, the last game of the season, was Leonard Skinner. One more time, he just had to find a way to battle and score some runs, just enough runs to be able to beat one of the best pitchers in all of baseball in Felix Hernandez, and would knock Seattle out of the postseason.
Trout hitting .288 with 36 home runs and 111 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night with a walk. The Angels took pretty much all of their regulars out of the game last night in the 7th inning with a 1-0 lead. And it was the 7th in which Seattle scored their run to tie it, thus sending it into extra innings. The Angels losing it in the 11th. This bounce foul. That's a no ball, 2 strike count. As always with Felix Hernandez on the mound with 2 strikes, they chant K.
This place is electric.
Yep. Fouled straight back on a high fastball. The count remains at 0-2.
Well, not many people can talk about numbers against Felix Hernandez, but Mike Trout certainly can. 18 for 47 with 2 home runs and 11 RBI.
Just missed, and not by much. 1-2. Felix in his last start got knocked around by Toronto. 4 2/3 innings. 8 runs, originally 8 earned runs, but that got changed. A scoring change on a bunt, which Felix actually committed an error on. Got changed to or was a hit originally. Got changed to an error. That took 4 of those earned runs off the board.
That'll help you out.
Yeah.
Help out that ERA for the year.
Yeah, his ERA had jumped up to 2.34. Now it's at 2.18 because of that scoring change. This is a bouncer foul.
That's back-to-back games in which Trout has hit a ball right off his foot. Change up down in right off the toe area. And that's always the discussion when you're going to the postseason. You've clinched home field advantage throughout. When do you, as a manager, rest some of the players to avoid something like that? But the integrity of the game, Mike Scioscia says, especially with Seattle, with a lot to play for today.
Called strike 3, 2 outs.
Going hard fastball, 93 with movement, catches the outside corner.
I got to say, I agree with the whole integrity part of the game, but I think with 2 at-bats, for the regulars and get them out. I think Mike Scioscia's loyalty is to the Angels.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Oakland can say what they want. They have the opportunity to win the game themselves.
Right.
And I think that's all you'll see is 1 or 2 at-bats from the regulars today.
Taylors are planning an off day tomorrow, and then workouts on Tuesday and Wednesday before cranking it up on Thursday. 2 balls, no strikes on Albert. Hitting .271 with 28 home runs and 105 runs batted. He went 0 for 4 yesterday. Angels managed 7 hits. James Paxton got the start and gave up a run in 5 2/3. Little liner out to center field. It broke his bat. It's a base hit. So Albert is on board for Howie.
Just a 200 career hitter against Hernandez for Pujols. This one shatters the bat. As he's running down the line with a smile for Felix Hernandez, and that's just a line drive base hit in the box score.
That's right. So Kendrick steps up. Howie with back-to-back multi-hit games in this series. Single and a double last night. He drives one out towards center field. Austin Jackson moving back on it. And will make the catch as he steps onto the warning track. That'll do it for the Angels here in the first. Look at the bottom of the first, scoreless. Court. I'm sure that kid's thrilled to be taking a bite out of that thing.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tasting.
Yes.
Take a look at Lloyd McClendon starting 9 for the Mariners at 86 and 75. Austin Jackson leading things off in center. Dustin Ackley in left. Robinson Cano in second. Kendrys Morales, the cleanup hitter at DH. Kyle Seager in third. Logan Morrison continues to have a hot month of September. He's the first baseman. Michael Saunders in right. Mike Zunino, the catcher. Chris Taylor batting ninth and playing shortstop. Taking on Corey Rasmus, who's done a nice job filling into the rotation for the Angels. A 3-1 mark and a 2.38 ERA.
Yeah, 53 innings pitched, 54 strikeouts for Rasmus. He's throwing the ball exceptionally well in both out of the bullpen as a spot starter also for Mike Scioscia. The keys for him today, though, strike one is extremely important for him. Get ahead and finish off with the all-speed and use this game as a stepping stone, whether it's going to be in the starting rotation or the long guy out of the bullpen. Important for him to get some good work here today.
First one is inside for ball one. 6th start for Rasmus. His last one was against Texas at home on the 21st through a season high 59 pitches, going 4 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Two balls, no strikes.
Had a chance to talk to Matt Shoemaker down in the dugout a few minutes ago. He threw the ball very, very well in his bullpen session. Certainly looks in line to get a start in the ALDS.
2 balls, 1 strike. Jackson, the hero last night, the fielder's choice, that brought in the winning run in the 11th inning. 255 batting average. It's 47 RBIs now. Breaking ball in there, 2-2. It was an interesting game, to say the least. 24 men left on base.
And Jackson swung a lot of pitches out of the strike zone.
Teams combined to go 2 for 19 with men in scoring position. 2-2 now. Off the plate. Full count. Ackley on deck. Oakland still in Texas. 2-0 in the 5th. If Oakland wins, this game doesn't matter to the Seattle Mariners. They will be eliminated. Oakland will head up to Kansas City to play the Royals in Tuesday night's wild card game. This one's fouled back just below us. Tigers will be headed to Baltimore to start the division series there.
That should be a great series.
Yeah.
Some pretty good offenses in that series.
Although the Tigers' offense has been virtually non-existent of late. Three-two out toward right center field. Playable for Trout. 1 down. Check out the Halos defensively as EFREN Navarro gets started in left field, which is going to Trout at center, Calhoun at right. David Freeze and Eric Ibar on the left side of the infield. Howie Kendrick and C.J. Cron on the right side, and the Tank Congers today behind the plate.
And we were watching Howie again last night. He'll return double plays. 967 games played at second base. It's the 3rd most in Angel history. He's also turned 83 double plays this year. 11 errors season for Howie. But between Howie and Eric Ibar, these two have been dynamic up the middle for the Halos.
One-0 count on Ackley. Left fielder hitting .245, 14 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Ackley had a 1-for-4 game last night. Was also hit by a pitch. Off speed, the line to right. Just elevated enough until the Mariners have their first hit of the ball game.
And most flares in the outfield are going to be off the end of the bat. They're going to be up in the strike zone. Not be surprised to see Seattle running a little bit more so today. They have 96 stolen bases as a team this year. Have been caught 42 times.
First one to Cano. Down low. Cano hitting .314, 14 home runs, 82 runs batted in. He'll finish in the top 10 and hitting. He fouls this one off the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Altuve is the American League batting champion. He was 3 points ahead of Victor Martinez at the start of the day. The Houston Astros originally were not going to allow him to play in today's game while he wanted to play. And they eventually relented, and Jose went in there and had a couple of hits, and locked up his batting title while Victor Martinez went over. Ackley takes off. Cano hits one up the middle. Howie with a diving stop. Gets up, throws to first. 2 down. Nice play by Kendrick.
Great range here by Howie to dives, quickly gets up, throws out Robinson Cano, just as we thought. Seattle with some motion going. Ackley going on the pitch. Now he dives, throws out Cano. They get the second out. Talk about how great his defense has been this year. His range much, much better this season than I've seen him at any point in his career for Howie. Like I mentioned, 83 double plays turned by Howie.
Kendrys Morales takes the breaking ball down low for ball one, hitting .210. 7 home runs, 24 runs batted. Kendrys 0 for 4 last night. Had a couple of hits, including a home run in Friday's opener. Ackley, the base runner at second base here in the first.
Real good changeup from Rasmus. He does have a plus changeup.
Down low. Bottom of the fifth now in Texas, still 2-0 Oakland. Derek Holland apparently is warming up in the bullpen for Texas. He got scratched from last night's game due to migraines. And they didn't feel like he could go deep into the ball game today, so that's why Nick Martinez got to start, but apparently good enough to go out there and throw a couple of innings. Two-one. Broken bat foul. Bat splintering at the plate.
At least 3 pieces. A couple pieces on the field and in the bat itself. Kendrys Morales. Ran that little two-seamer in on him.
That look on his face, priceless. They just messed up his gamer.
Yeah. So they have a leadoff double for Texas in the bottom of the 5th.
It's like Tomas Telis.
He had some good at-bats against Angel pitching.
Ackley's down at second base with 2 outs. 2-2 now. And Morales goes down swinging on a high fastball. And Rasmus picks up his first punch out. We'll head to the second. Scoreless here in Seattle.
Last day of 2014. Yelich, left center. It's well hit, and it's caught! A diving catch! The no-hitter complete! Jordan Zimmerman has no-hit the Marlins!
That was the voice of the Marlins. Rich Waltz with the call, and what a catch by Souza out in left field. A defensive replacement that inning in the ninth by Matt Williams, the skipper of the Nationals.
What a play.
No doubt.
Usually you don't like to mess around with defenses when a no-hitter's going. But what a play. First in Nationals history, though they did have a number of 4 of them when they were the Expos, Montreal Expos, before making their way down to the D.C. area. But what a play. What a finish to the season for a staff that isn't giving up anything of late. They're really set up for the postseason, the Nationals now.
So that's back-to-back years for the Marlins in the last game of the season, being a part of a no-hitter. And the same starting pitcher for the Marlins. Alvarez picked it up last year on a walk-off wild pitch while he was in the on-deck circle.
And then that game end.
And then today, Alvarez taking the loss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eric Ibar. He'll be followed by David Freese and EFREN NAVARRO. In Texas, the Rangers have runners at first and third with nobody out to start the bottom of the 5th.
Boy, paints the fastball. He certainly has good velocity working today. 93, 94 for Felix Hernandez. His changeup great.
Here's Freese hitting .261, 10 home runs, 55 runs batted in. He'll look at a strike.
Well, what a last game. Derek Jeter in his last game playing. Had a hit and an RBI in Boston today. You mentioned Altuve getting a couple hits. Forced his way into the lineup for the Astros to win the batting title.
Freese loops one out towards center. Austin Jackson in. 2 outs.
David Price threw the ball really, really well for the Tigers. It was a 1-0 game almost the entire game. Went 7 1/3. They scored a couple runs. In the 8th inning, the Tigers end up winning that one 3-0 to win their division.
Two outs, bases clear, and it's EFREN NAVARRO, left fielder today. Coming up, 244 on the season with a home run and 14 runs batted in. And he'll take a breaking ball outside. Navarro got into the game late last night. Ended up going 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. Pulls this one foul and off the hand of Alfredo Griffin. Adam Rosales has just grounded into a double play to end the 5th, so Oakland maintains their 2-0 lead heading to the 6th. Sonny Gray getting the start for Oakland. Here's scoreless in the 2nd. 1-2.
Looking at some other scores, St. Louis, because of the fact that Pittsburgh lost and had a pitch, Garrett Cole was able to save Adam Wainwright. He didn't have to pitch in the game today for St. Louis.
I still disagree with that whole Garrett Cole thing.
Yeah, now they have to pitch that. He'll have to pitch someone other than Garrett Cole in that wild card game against San Francisco and Bumgarner, who's a very, very good pitcher himself. It'll be Pittsburgh and San Francisco in that wild card game.
In Pittsburgh. Two. Wow. It's a piece of it. Keeps his at bat alive. us your photo using hashtag WestFanPhoto, and it could be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Date to be determined.
Maybe Thursday, post-game.
Or maybe 2015.
Yes.
As long as it's upcoming.
Yes. You have requested to keep it going in the postseason.
Should happen, right?
The post-game shows, definitely.
Seager, Morrison, and Saunders for the Mariners here in the second inning against Corey Rasmus. Kyle Seager, the third baseman, a .270 average, 25 home runs, 96 runs batted in. Three infielders on the right side. Kendrick out in shallow right. Seager at the plate. The first one's up and away. Seager, the team leader in extra base hits with 56, RBIs with 96, home runs 25. A .304 hitter here in this ballpark this year. 240 out on the road. One on the inside corner, 1-2. Nineteen pitches for Rasmus in that first inning. Picked up a strikeout, allowed a hit. Down goes Seager, high fastball, one down. Fans, make your plans to be part of the postseason action at the Big A. Angels Divisional Series tickets on sale now. For more info to purchase tickets, log on at angels.com. There's Logan Morrison. Morrison, the first baseman, had a couple of hits last night, a single and a double. His double in the seventh is what tied the game up at 1. .259 on the season with 11 home runs and 38 runs batted in. A former Marlin, first season with Seattle. Foul back. 1-2.
Tell you what, the way Corey has thrown in this starting role, he's got to be part of the equation or the conversation come next spring training as far as maybe a potential spot, especially with some injuries they're going to have to deal with again next year.
You know, Tyler Skaggs dealing with Tommy John and Garrett Richards. You know, the timetable 6 to 9 months. You just never know.
Yeah, Tyler's going to be out the entire season or pretty close to it next year.
This one's out to shallow center. It'll get down for a base hit. One out single puts a man off for Michael Saunders. But you're right. I mean, if you're looking at options, especially knowing that while there may be some big names out there, they also come with big price tags. With Corey, that you have the option at the back end of the rotation, maybe catch lightning in a bottle like you did with Matt Shoemaker.
He has 4 quality pitches. He has the arsenal to be a solid starter. He was at one point a starter in the minor leagues.
Drafted as such by the Braves.
He competes very well also.
Michael Saunders hitting .268. Married a right fielder. 32 RBIs on the season. Foul at the plate. Saunders with a couple of home runs over the last 4 games. He homered on Friday. Spent some time on the disabled list this year with the left oblique strain. Short lead for Morrison at first. His son tries to break through the clouds here. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little fog rolled in early this morning. But overall, nice day. A whole lot of wind or breeze here. But certainly a nice early fall day. 1-1. That is driven out towards center field. Trout giving chase. Still running back. Not going to get there. It's over his head. Morrison being waved in. There is not going to be a play at the plate. Seattle takes a 1-0 lead. Saunders with his 10th double of the year.
That ball hit well right down the middle of the plate, thrown by Rasmus against Saunders. Trout trying to run back on that one, not anticipating with this cool air to be able to carry as well as it did. 1 hops the wall, giving Seattle an early lead here. 33rd RBI and 10th double this season for Saunders.
So Seattle strikes first in this one. Saunders standing at second base, 1 out, and Mike Zunino, the catcher, at the plate. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Zunino, 22 home runs, 58 runs batted in, but batting average under 200. 198. Off the plate, 1-2.
And one thing we've noticed from Zunino this year, he likes everything on the inner half of the plate. Does have good power, 22 home runs, but not consistent as far as hitting the ball and putting it in play, especially on anything away.
Foul back, just below us. Were you ready?
Oh yeah, ready to move out of the way. I guess he heard me saying he didn't have a lot of coverage on the outer part of the plate.
He's trying to prove you wrong.
Yes.
Pitch count already at 33 for Cord. Big lead for Saunders at second. Time was called. Probably really worried about Saunders with a 1-2 count on Zunino. Zunino fouls one on the first base side. This one's headed toward the seats. So the count remains at 1-2. Bottom of the 6th in Texas, still 2-0 Oakland. Holland is indeed now in the game for Texas.
Well, what a job by Sonny Gray to get through that last inning. The first and third no outs, did not allow a run. May have saved Oakland's season with that performance in that inning.
Tonino fouls one back. And we get another conversation here between Conger and Rasmus. Last thing you want to do is put so much attention on the guy at second base that you forget about the guy at the plate who has the ability to make this a 3-0 game with one swing of the bat.
You miss anywhere near the inside part of the plate, he can crush it. He's got great power in that part of the plate.
He seems a lot more deliberate today with men on base than what we've seen in 5 previous starts. 1-2 out the left. NAVARRO is there. 2 outs.
Time to reach for that pitch.
So 2 outs and a man at second. 1-0 Seattle, and Chris Taylor, the shortstop, coming up. Single by Morrison, the double by Saunders puts Seattle up 1-0 here in the second. Taylor hitting .293, has 8 doubles, 9 runs batted in. 2 for 5 game last night, a couple of singles. Looks at a breaking ball for a strike. This one's out to left field. NAVARRO's there. And Rasmus limits the damage. Seattle strikes for a run. One to the third. They lead at 1-0. To begin the third inning, it'll be 8-9-1. Crone, Conger, and Calhoun coming up to face Felix Hernandez. There's the look at the wild card. It's presented by Kia, Kansas City. And Wild Card 1 will host the wild card game on Tuesday. Oakland currently leading Texas 2-0. That game's now in the 7th. But Seattle looking up at the standings. And if they end up falling short of their goal, getting to the postseason, especially in the wild card, look back at the just completed road trip and all of the missed opportunities. That 5-game losing streak crushed their hopes.
Still a solid season for Seattle when you think about it. They still haven't been as consistent as they want to be on the offensive end. They've pitched extremely well and caught the ball very well also.
Cron looks at a strike. He was the DH last night. Ended up going 1 for 5. RBI single and 4 strikeouts. 259, 11 home runs, 37 runs batted in.
Boy, credit Texas for putting Derek Holland in the game. Pitching today, Texas trying to find a way to be able to beat Oakland. It's a pretty good comeback story himself. I didn't think he was going to pitch the whole year. He's thrown the ball very well coming back from knee surgery.
5th strikeout of the game for Felix Hernandez. 1 out.
It's that changeup. It almost looks like a split finger fastball. There's not a lot of differential between the speed of his changeup and his fastball. His changeup's around 88 to 90 range. Fastball, especially 2-seamers, 91, 93. 4-seamer, 92 to 95. But it's the location, always downstairs.
Hank at .218 average with 4 home runs, 25 runs batted in. First action of the weekend series. And to start today behind the plate. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 32 pitches for Felix Hernandez. 23 have been strikes. 5 punch outs, no walks, 1 hit allowed. That was Pujols. A broken bat single to center. 1-1. Downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Angels had action in their bullpen going as the bottom of the 2nd came to an end. So be potentially a very quick afternoon for Corey Rasmus with the pitch count getting up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Conger looks at a fastball, 2 outs.
Well, his location of his fastball has been right on that one at 93. Looking off speed, you got to look fastball against Felix Hernandez, even though he has one of the best changeups.
Calhoun, a strikeout victim to lead off the ball game. 0 for 1. This one's bounced foul up the first base line. 0-1 count.
Joe Thatcher warming up in the bullpen for the Angels.
0-1 downstairs. Seattle has Jackson, Ackley, and CANO. So it might be 1 batter for Corey and then go to the lefties. Dribbler up the line, foul. 1-2. Heading to the bottom of the 7th now at Arlington. The 2 runs that Oakland scored were in the 2nd inning against Nick Martinez, but they haven't done much since then. Now Holland has worked an inning and a 3rd. Sonny Gray has been up to the challenge, that's for sure. 1-2. Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6 strikeouts for Felix Hernandez. 2 each through the first 3 innings. Cole strikes out swinging. As Hernandez strikes out the side, we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Mariners on top.
Solid play here against Robinson Cano. The full dive makes the play and able to get up and throw Robinson Cano out at first base. Number 967 as far as second base position for Howie. Fielding percentage this year, 984. Keeps getting better. He's worked hard at it. Getting better on the backhand. Certainly a lot of range and very good as far as turning double plays. 83 of them this season.
Top of the order here for Seattle. Jackson, Ackley, and Cano. Joe Thatcher continues to loosen. 38 pitches for Rasmus. Austin Jackson's 0 for 1. A fly ball to center. His first time up. Bunts it foul. And apparently off the hand of Hank Conger.
On the bunt attempt. When Hank's been banged up quite a bit this season.
Bouncer toward the middle. Ibar to his left has it. 1 down. Fancy annual Angels 5K at Fun Run will take place April 11th, 2015. First 5,000 registered participants will receive a T-shirt, commemorative medal, and 2015 game ticket. Proceeds from this event will benefit the Angels Baseball Foundation. For more info to sign up, log on at angels.com/5K. 5K. Dustin Ackley, the batter, he's singled in the first. 1 for 1 so far. Two balls, no strikes. Mentioned Sonny Gray, the job that he has done. It's been the Sonny Gray show because since Oakland scored the 2 runs in the second, The Rangers have retired 17 consecutive Athletics. Took advantage of some mislocations by Martinez to score those 2 runs. Sonny Gray's making it hold up. Ackley fouls it back 2-1.
Yeah, he's only thrown 75 pitches into the 7th inning now with 2 outs.
Two one count with 1 out here in the 3rd. The breaking ball evens up the count. Robinson Cano on deck. Two upstairs. Full count. Might be the last batter for Rasmus. And Ackley goes down swinging. 2 outs. Thatcher ready to go in the pen. Maybe a little audition with Cano coming up. No movement from Socia yet.
Another good slider from Rasmus. Good slider, good curve, changeup, good velocity on his fastball.
He's going to let him try to finish it off. Thatcher did a nice job Friday night. A little situation where she faced 3 consecutive left-handed batters and
got 3 ground ball outs.
Yeah. Three strikeouts for Rasmus, no walks and 3 hits allowed. Cano grounded out to Kendrick in the 1st. Nice diving play by Howie to his right. 2 balls, no strikes. There's our train out of town.
Yes.
Hot smash and Ibar to his left has it. Low throw dug out by Crone, and Ibar robs Cano of a base hit.
They don't hit it to a middle infielder for the Angels. That's the key. Ibar and Howie, great plays against Cano.
And to the 4th with Seattle still leading it. Felix Hernandez has been dealing so far. 7 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit allowed. He's scheduled to face Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick for the Angels here in the 4th inning. And with that scoring change and that play that occurred in Toronto and the 3 scoreless so far, Felix Hernandez currently the American League leader in ERA. Just ahead of Chris Sale. Trout struck out looking in the first. He's 0 for 1. One ball, 1 strike on Mike. The only hit for the Angels, the Pujols 2-out single in the 1st inning.
You look at the outfield defense against Trout. They bunch it up in the middle. Not a lot of coverage on either line against Trout. Trying to take away the gaps. The most home runs you see from Trout are center field, right center to left center, not much down the lines.
Two on now. Downstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Boy, a good count here now for Trout. Does have 2 career home runs against Felix Hernandez.
Pujols on deck. 3-1, bouncer to short. Taylor comes charging in. Off balance throw, and they get him. 1 out.
Good play by Taylor, that strong arm, and he needed all that strong arm to be able to throw Trout out going down the line. Out of the batter's box, how quick he is. And that toe still looks like it's a little bit sore from that foul ball off it early in the game here and yesterday also.
Breaking ball for a strikeout. Albert didn't like the call. This one pulled foul. Albert rolls with a short. Taylor comes up with it cleanly. 2 down. Pujols 1 for 2. Up steps Howie Kendrick. Howie drove one out to center field of the warning track that Austin Jackson tracked down to end the first. So he's 0 for 1. No chopper to short. Taylor busy this inning. And he picks up and throws out Kendrick. A 1-2-3 fourth. 1-0 Seattle. Better. Call 1-855-1TWC. By the 2014 Camry at your Toyota dealer today, we make it easy. And by AT&T Uverse TV, mobilizing your world. Seattle leads at 1-0 as we begin the bottom of the fourth here in Safeco Field. Morales, Seager, and Morrison for the Angels. Corey Rasmus still in the ball game. Three strikeouts, no walks, and 3 hits allowed for Corey. He's thrown 50 pitches. KENDRYS 0 for 1. He struck out swinging. First inning. It's the breaking ball up and away. One to one. Thatcher's up and loosening once again. Two balls, one strike. Of the 53 pitches thrown by Corey, so far 35 have been strikes. Pitch he threw to Saunders, just too good of a pitch. Saunders drove it over the head of Trout for a double that brought in the run in the second inning for Seattle. 3-1.
May indeed be Corey's last batter here. As Ken just walks away from the batter's box. A new bat. Must have been a pretty good take.
Well, they head to the ninth at Arlington with Oakland still up 2-0. Oakland victory seals up the second wild card. That'll be your matchup Tuesday night. Oakland at Kansas City.
And Texas will have their heart of their lineup coming up, though, in the bottom of the ninth.
Here it's 1-0 Seattle. 3-1 to KENDRYS. Takes a strike, full count. And he walked him. First free pass issued by Rasmus. Pickups Mike Scioscia. Now that's going to be at the core with Thatcher ready to go, and Seager, Morrison, Saunders due up. It'll be Joe Thatcher being brought into the game. Nobody out here in the fourth. Angels down 1-0.
Rangers 11-0 to clinch their third straight AL West title. Morales hit a home run in that game. Urban Santana, 7-hit shutout. Kendrys had some good power. All fields wearing that Angel uniform. Nice job by Corey Rasmus.
All right, in and out. Who's in, who's out? Rasmus will watch this one from the bench the rest of the way. Joe Thatcher takes over here with a man at first, nobody out. Seager, Morrison, and Saunders, the next three guys up. Pitched that scoreless inning on Friday. Did a nice job. 16th appearance as an Angel. 1-1 record, a 6 ERA. 6 innings, 11 hits. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Seager fouls off the first offering. Kyle struck out leading off the second. He's 0 for 1. Oh, 2. Morales working the leadoff walk to start this fourth. Not a very big lead for him at first base. Foul back. Go off speed pitch. Maybe too sweet of a pitch.
Especially when you're ahead of the count, you can expand the strike zone even more so.
Down goes Seager. 1 out.
Good pitch there from Thatcher. Hides the baseball well. Have to break the ball better on the outside part of the plate.
One out, 1 on, and Logan Morrison at the plate. First baseman singled in the second, scored on the double by Saunders. Pulls this one into right field, a base hit. KENDRYS will advance to second and stop right there. So Morrison with a multi-hit game.
Morrison stays in well against left-handed pitching. Even on the season, .333 batting average against left-handed pitchers.
Mike Butcher is going to come out now. This might be to give Herrera a little opportunity to get ready out in the pen. One last bullpen game. Rasmus going 3 innings plus 1 batter. 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's responsible for Morales at second. I'm sure KENDRYS was overly thrilled with the fact that Thatcher just pulled a spin move on him. Morales isn't going anywhere.
No. Certainly with a left-handed batter up. Clear throw for Hank Conger to third base.
Oh, what count on Saunders. Doubled home run in the second. Doubled his 10th. The RBI is 33rd. This one's loped out to left field. That'll get down for a hit and another run. Morales in to score. Morrison on his way to third. Saunders with a double, and it's 2-0 Seattle.
So she's going to go down the bullpen now. Two lefties getting hits against Thatcher.
Not what you wanted to see. Saunders just took what was given to him and flipped it out to left. Pitching change here in the fourth, the second of the inning. Seattle leads it. By your SoCal BMW dealers, the official sponsor of the Crosstown Cup. Mariners on top 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And still batting with runners at second and third. Jocelyn Herrera takes over on the mound for Joe Thatcher. Two base runners, the responsibility of Thatcher. Herrera, so far, has pitched in 19 big league games. This will be his 20th. 101 record, a 2.81 ERA, 16 innings, 20 hits, 12 strikeouts, and 9 walks. Second appearance of the series is Jocelyn worked a scoreless 8th inning Friday night. He'll face Mike Zunino, the catcher. Logan Morrison standing at third, and Michael Saunders standing at second base. Multi-hit game for Saunders, 2 doubles and an RBI. Pardon me, 2 RBIs. That run that scored here in the fourth inning charged, unfortunately, to Rasmus. So he charged with 2 runs in his 3 innings of work today. Infield in. Of course, Taylor, the shortstop's on deck. Foul back, 0-2. 0-2. Just a little looper to left. One is in. Saunders, good speed, will score 4-0. Seattle. Those 2 runs get charged at Thatcher, who lasts a third of an inning.
Jammed him. Flared it in left field for a 2 RBI single. Now 60 RBI on the season for Zunino.
Still 1 out. The book closed now on Thatcher. 2 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 runs allowed. Taylor lobs one out to shallow right center field. Trout calls off Calhoun. 2 down.
Jackson.
And the way Felix Hernandez has been pitching today, 4-0 looks and feels like 10-0. 7 strikeouts for Hernandez through 4 innings.
That's 18 strikeouts in his last 11 innings pitched against the Angels.
And overall in the season, this being his 5th start against the Angels, 47 strikeouts in 32 and 2/3 innings. That's a pretty good ratio.
Always around the strike zone.
This one's out to shallow right. Now they'll fall in for a base hit.
Well, Oakland has added 2 more. Bases loaded. This baseball was hit. We were watching a little bit of this game. Looked like it would be a double play ball. Instead, gets through into the outfield.
I mean, that is a tailor-made double play ball, and Rougned Odor, I guess, never saw him.
I mean, this was hit right at him.
Yeah. A bad 9th inning for Texas defensively. Beltre charged with a couple of errors. Rosales with a mistake, and now Odor. So Oakland leads at 4-0. Trying to wrap up the wild card. Here, 4-0 Seattle. Dustin Ackley, the batter. He's 1 for 2. And that collective groan you just heard is the Mariners posting the 4-0 score up on the board for Oakland. Ackley swinging a miss. 0-2.
Unless Odor got screened by the umpire. I mean, that ball was right at him.
Oh, 2 to Ackley. This is fouled back. Figure now the 5th inning, 6th, that the regulars will start to come out of the game. Long bottom of the 4th, 3 runs in for Seattle. They lead at 4-0. 7 hits for the M's so far. One and 2. And now Hank Conger's going to go out and pay a visit. Hector Santiago is warming up for the Angels. Robinson Cano is on deck. And down goes Ackley. The inning is over, but Seattle adds to their leads. We head to the 5th. Mariners lead at 4-0. New Sports Network. Fox Sports 1 is your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series. And it all begins on Friday. That's the National League.
It's all set now, National League. Cardinals, Dodgers. Then you got the Nationals versus the winner of the wild card game.
Those wild card games will be happening on Tuesday. Angels just trying to get out of here healthy. Enjoy their off day tomorrow. Might have some guys throwing bullpens. I think Josh Hamilton is planning on taking some batting practice. But other than that, Angels will have a workout on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then go get them on Thursday. Ibar takes upstairs. It'll be Ibar, Freeze, and Navarro. You mentioned earlier that Matt Shoemaker had a good bullpen session. He's doing all right. Hamilton, that's the million-dollar question. As Ibar fouls this one, it's 1-1. He said he felt good swinging the bat two-handed, but that's not how he normally swings the bat. He's a very, I guess you say, violent swing that finishes with one hand off the bat. And he's yet to really test that out at 100%. So we'll see how that goes.
That's a tough decision for Mike Scioscia and the whole organization. Josh Hamilton could be a difference maker for sure in the postseason if he's healthy. But if he's going to be in there where a situation where one game in or one swing and then all of a sudden he's hurt again, they have to take him off the roster. He was no longer available for the rest of the postseason. So it's a tough one.
For the next series. So if he's if he's on the division series roster, gets taken out for an injury, then he'd have to miss the LCS, and he could come back for the World Series. But you're right. I mean, it's a risk as Ibar grounds out here for the first out to start the 5th.
Yeah. Do you put, or do you have a situation where you have C.J. Cron and say Brendan Bosch or EFREN Navarro, as far as platoon that DH role until Josh is completely healthy, gets enough at bats?
That right there is the key word. It's September 28th. He has a total of 14 plate appearances in the month of September. And they haven't been 100% healthy plate appearances either. That's the scary thing. It's one thing to take batting practice and sim games, live game action.
And against the very best pitchers when you're talking postseason, too. And he hasn't had a ton of at-bats this entire season.
Right. Hamilton, a total of 338 at-bats. He's played just 89 games this year.
Boy, Sonny Gray is still in the game there for Oakland. Texas got through the inning, no more damage, 4-0. Bottom of the ninth. Oakland against the Rangers.
Freese 0 for 1 with a fly ball to center. And now a tough task has become that much more difficult. Home plate fully engulfed in the shadow while Felix Hernandez in the sunshine. As the sun is now out here in full force. 2-1.
Boy, when Felix gets 4 or more runs of support, 85-6 in his career.
(3-1). Freeze. Ground ball to second. Cano has it. 2 outs. Hey folks, visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at angels.com/shop. You can largest selection of authentic MLB postseason gear. Get what the players are wearing straight from the source. The angels.com shop. Oakland now 2 outs away from picking up the wild card, the second wild card, as they limp to the finish. But that means they will, well, I guess you'll get James Shields,
John Lester,
that's in Kansas City on Tuesday night.
Pretty good pitching matchup.
I mean, those are the starters. It's all hands on deck.
Yeah. That's big game James Shields going against John Lester, who has unbelievable numbers in the postseason, especially in the World Series.
NAVARRO strikeout victim in the second inning.
5 consecutive ground ball outs for Felix Hernandez.
Retired 12 straight. It's the 2-out single by PUJOLS in the first inning. Two balls, 1 strike. Bouncer to the right side. Morrison will take it himself. The Angels are done here in the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. It's all Seattle right now. It's Hector Santiago taking over for Yasel Herrera. As Seattle here, the fifth will have Cano, Morales, and Seager. Santiago pitching in his 30th game. He's made 24 starts, 6-9 record, a 3.81 ERA. And depending on how everything works out with Matt Shoemaker, more than likely a bullpen piece for Mike Scioscia in the postseason.
It's pretty good depth to have down in your bullpen if that is the case.
The Angels have taken out their regulars as they put Tony Campana in center field, Brennan Bosch in right. And the infield now looks like this. Scored Beckham at third, John McDonald in short, Sean O'Malley at second base. And that's Adrian Johnson, home plate umpire, giving Lloyd McClendon all of the changes here. So that's the delay right now. And as expected, we knew this was going to be the case. Regardless of what the score was here and or in Texas, guys were going to get a couple of ABs as they get out of there.
Texas still alive. Just got Adrian Beltre got a base hit with 2 outs, 2 strikes on him. Still hitting. Sonny Gray still on the mound. For Oakland, 100 pitches thrown, trying to get a shutout.
Robinson Cano's 0 for 2, twice as grounded out, both times on fantastic plays by the defense. Kendrick the first time, Ibar the second time. Fouls off the first pitch, and it's an 0-1 count. One on one. This one down toward left center field. That will get down for the 8th Mariners hit of the afternoon. Oakland has closed out Texas. They shut out the Rangers 4-0. So they are the second wild card.
That was really Sonny Gray saving the season, especially in that 5th inning with his 1st and 3rd, no outs. In the 5th, did not give up a run and ended up completing the game, a complete game shutout for Sonny Gray, considering he hasn't thrown the ball all that well in the last month and a half, but today certainly did so for Oakland.
Yeah, his last 2 starts pretty good. The one against the Angels and now the one today. So nice run for the Seattle Mariners. You'll probably hear the groans once they post that final up on the out-of-town scoreboard in left center field. They took it all the way to game number 162. They certainly have a staff to build upon going into 2015. Lloyd McClendon did a terrific job with his ball club, led by that guy, Felix Hernandez. And more than likely, I should say more than likely, pretty good chance at winning the Cy Young. Chris Sales had a great season. Corey Kluber, the Indians, also a fantastic season. Morales hooks one foul down the line. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They just posted the final. Now you're going to get a standing ovation by the Mariners faithful for their ball club.
pretty good to see to their fans. They came out, a ton of them, as soon as they saw that run scored last night. Sold over 10,000 tickets right after that run scored last night.
A little flare down the line. Crone and O'Malley. Nobody can get there. A classy move on the part of the Mariners fans here to recognize the nice season that Seattle has had this year. 86 and 75. Nobody gave Lloyd McClendon or the Mariners any chance in the American League West this year. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, Mark, the one thing that as you go into the offseason, as well as the Mariners have played all season long out on the road, that last road trip is that will be the lasting memory. That one thing that will haunt them going into the offseason.
Yeah.
What if
losing
we played normal baseball that last road trip?
Houston and Toronto, teams that they feel they should have beaten.
A swinging bunt by KENDRYS, and he'll be retired for the first out as CANO advances to second. So this is what the playoff picture looks like. Detroit will play Baltimore in the division series. The Angels will await the winner of the Royals and the Oakland A's game that'll be played on Tuesday night in Kansas City. SEAGER pops it up. Back up makes the catch.
And avoids the mask it. Hank Conger threw right by him as he came in to catch that pop-up. And a smile at Hank at Gordon Beckham. See Hank with the mask. And then throw it just behind Beckham. He's still able to concentrate and look that ball into his glove.
Yeah, the minute you're about 2 or 3 feet outside that dirt as a catcher, more times than not, you're going to get called off.
Much easier play for third baseman coming in on the baseball as compared to their catcher trying to find that after being in a catching position.
But a well-thrown mask.
Yes.
One ball, one strike on Logan Morrison. A couple of hits for him. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Mariners have action in their bullpen, so we may have seen the last of Felix Hernandez. 5 innings, scoreless baseball. And has put himself in position to win the ERA title. Two one popped up. John McDonald dealing with that sunshine is there, makes the catch. This inning is over. Well, into the 6th inning here in Seattle with the Halos down 4-0.
Well, Saunders with one on, drives a double off the wall, one hops the wall, scores. Logan Morrison with the first run of the game. King Felix has been dominant for Seattle. 7 punch-outs in 5 shutout innings. Fastball command there. Changeup, breaking ball has been consistent, but that's changeup the difference maker in this game for Felix and the Mariners, and they lead this one 4-0 here in the top of the 6th.
Felix Hernandez is back out for the 6th inning. Crone, Conger, and Beckham. The scheduled 3 batters. That's 8, 9, and 1. Calhoun, Trout, Kendrick, Ibar, Freeze no longer in the game. As Crone looks to strike. CJ's 0 for 1 with a punch out in the 3rd. That's 5 consecutive strikeouts for Crone. That one's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 hit allowed. 1 base runner allowed by Felix Hernandez so far today. That was a 2-out broken bat single by Albert in the 1st. Two balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. Adrian Johnson bringing that one up, but CJ didn't like the call. But now it's game number 162 for everybody, and might be time to go home. See if that strike zone gets bigger and bigger as Crone grounds this one to short. Another ground ball out for Felix Hernandez.
Looks like McClendon may go down to the bullpen now for Felix Hernandez to get a round of applause from all these fans here today at Safeco.
And that's exactly what's happening. Fans sense it, they know it, and they're on their feet. The Angels trailing at 4-0. Hernandez, and he got called back out for a curtain call with chance of Felix and potential American League Cy Young Award winner. 5 1/3 today, 7 strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit allowed.
Extremely emotional too for Felix Hernandez. What a job, what a season once again for Hernandez.
And from one fireballer to another, as Brandon Maurer takes over on the mound now for Seattle, delivers a strike on Conger.
It's a pretty amazing moment when he was walking off the mound. That was a great job by Lloyd Glenn to be able to take him out in that situation so the fans can give that standing O for Felix Hernandez.
Hank struck out looking in a third. Line of the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now a 1-4 record, of 4.76 ERA. This will be his 38th game. Has 7 starts. Two balls and 2 strikes. Gordon Beckham on deck. Hank hits one out to shallow left center field off the end of the bat. Nobody's going to get there. It'll fall in for a base hit.
Take a look at the top candidates as far as AL Cy Young Award winners' potentials. Felix Hernandez in line for his 15th victory if Seattle's able to hold on to this game. ERA 2.14. Chris Sale 2.17. 12-4. Corey Kluber, though, 18-9, very good ERA, 269 strikeouts. Jared Weaver, 18-game winner also. That game right here today may have helped Felix Hernandez tremendously in that quest for another Cy Young. Won it back in 2010. Doesn't get a ton of run support, but the innings pitched, strikeouts, ERA, quality starts. Had that record at one point when he went 7 innings or more with 2 earned runs or less. That was forever.
Is he your choice? Back and fouls it back 1-2.
I think Kluber, the way he's thrown the baseball this year for Cleveland, 18-game winner. ERA is not that much of a difference. 2.14s compared to 2.44. Strikeouts, it'll be close. The National League, I feel pretty good about who I would say the National League.
Yeah.
But that was close.
Beckham skies one down a left field line. Pretty well hit, and it hooks foul. The count remained at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Beckham trying to keep this one fair down the line.
Maurer just wanted a new baseball. Never looked. He knew it was foul the whole way. At least he was hoping.
Yeah, he was.
Check swing. He went around. It's a strikeout. Conger will advance on the wild pitch. 2 down. And folks, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Robinson Cano being pulled now for Bill Miller.
Certainly a great season for Cano, his first as a Seattle Mariner.
Brad Miller at second base, taking over for Cano. As Brendan Bosch looks at a strike. CANO finishes his first season in Seattle with a .314 batting average. Bosch takes low. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Brendan taking over in the bottom of the 5th inning in right field for Cole Calhoun. 178 batting average in 26 games with the Angels. 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 home runs, or pardon me, 7 RBIs. Bosch lifts one on the left side of the infield. Taylor calls off Seager. And the Angels are done here in the 6th. But to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Seattle leading at 4-0. Kansas City will host the Oakland Athletics on Tuesday night. Pittsburgh will host the San Francisco Giants for the wild card in the National League. The Angels will await the winner of the A's-Royals game on Thursday, kicking off the American League Division Series. Baltimore will host Detroit. Sorry, Mark.
If you're a baseball fan, this is going to be a great postseason because there's very good teams, but there's no dominant teams, so you're going to have some great long series throughout the entire postseason into the Fall Classic.
Hector Santiago falls behind here on Saunders at 2 balls and no strikes. Saunders, Zunino, and Taylor 7, 8, 9 for the M's, up 4-0 here in the 6th. Second inning of work for Santiago. 3-0. Saunders with 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, and a run scored. Strike 3-1. Felix Hernandez, by the way, claims the American League ERA title. Finishes with a Mariners single season record at 2.14. Not too bad. Slow roller, foul up the line.
Still so impressive when you consider how many games he's had to pitch where he's getting 1, maybe 2, sometimes even no runs of support. Not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. Everyone always says, well, your job is to go out there and compete, go deep in the games. But when you have no runs to support, you're always in the back of your mind thinking, of one mistake I make, I'm going to get a loss out of this. Difficult to do so.
3-2, and he walked him. There's Saunders, a leadoff man on board. Folks, make your plans to be part of the postseason. Mention that division series beginning on Thursday. Those tickets are on sale now. For more info to purchase tickets, just log on at angels.com. As a matter of fact, LCS tickets will go on sale Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Mike Zunino, the batter. He singled home 2 runs in the 4th inning. 1-for-2 game.
Well, either way you look at it, it's going to be a lot of fun for the Angels, whoever they play, whether it's the A's, so familiar, a lot of battles over the years with Oakland, or Kansas City, who they had many battles back in the day when they were both in the AL West.
That will be an interesting game. Lester Shields in Kansas City. Zunino lifts one out to shallow left field. EFREN NAVARRO comes in. One away. Saunders heads back to first. Up steps Chris Taylor, the shortstop. Game time still yet to be determined. But games 1 and 2, Thursday and Friday. Off days, travel day on Saturday. Then Sunday, Monday would be games 3 and 4. Game 4 if necessary. Same with game 5, which will be back home at the Big A. Should you get there on Wednesday the
8th. Real interesting to how they battle the A's and Royals. Kansas City, their offense is predicated around stealing bases. John Lester's had his issues as far as throwing to bases. Very quick to the plate, though. But still, that's Kansas City's game as far as stealing bases.
Oh, 1. 0-2. Taylor, the shortstop, 0-for-2 with a couple of fly ball outs. Down. First strikeout for Santiago. So we'll bring up Austin Jackson.
Certainly great news. Again, we'll go back to the fact we talked about Matt Shoemaker. He was so excited the way he threw the baseball today in his bullpen session.
That one sneaks through the left side, and Austin Jackson has his second hit of the ball game. 2 on, 2 outs. Ackley coming up.
Now that gives Mike Scioscia the option of pitching Shoemaker in game 2.
Yep. Which, if that's the case, I mean, CJ would pitch out on the road. And his numbers on the road this year have not been pretty.
Yeah, but I think it could all depend on as far as the rotation being set up. See right there how comfortable he was throwing, and a power bullpen to boot. It's who they play. Kansas City or Oakland. Oakland, certainly when you want to throw a lefty in there, maybe that's when you do pitch CJ game 2. Kansas City, much better against left-handed pitching. They have a lot of their power from the right side except for Alex Gordon, so it changes that up on how they will approach and how they set up the rotation, Mike Scioscia and Mike Butcher, depending on who the opponent's going to be. But the good thing is both those teams have to burn their number 1 starter because of the wild card game.
Two-0 count on Ackley, who's 1 for 3. I don't think the A's ever envisioned having to use John Lester for a play-in game. Now the narrative may be written as such to justify the move, but when the move was made, that wasn't the intent. At least I could imagine that that was the intent, the what if.
But Adam Dunn finally make it to the postseason himself.
Yep.
He's never been in there.
I know.
So you have, what, 462 career home runs. Has never been to the postseason. Well, now we'll get that opportunity. And he'll probably be in the lineup, too, with James Shields pitching, a right-handed pitcher.
He's been batting in the 2 spot during this weekend
That's a definite
series.
prototypical number 2 guy, don't you think? Hit and run guy.
3 balls and a strike. Hit run guy. Shorten up and go the other way.
Yes. This made contact.
(3-1) Ackley. And there's a strike. Full count. Miller on deck. And by the way, in case you're wondering about game times for the division series, those game times probably will not be determined until after the wild card games are played. So maybe Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Runners go. 3-2. Called strike 3. Adrian Johnson rings it up. And we will head to the 7th with Seattle on top 4-0. Four to nothing, and Brandon Bauer back out for another inning of action.
Hyundai key for this game one more time for Mike Scioscia's club. See if they can come back one more time this year. They've done it better than anybody in the game. Swung the bats extremely well this entire season. The bullpen has been great. Team ERA solid. Defense, something that Mike Scioscia stressed in spring training, number 2 as far as fielding percentage in the American League this season.
Luis Jimenez swinging first pitch, skies one. And in foul territory, Morrison makes the play. The first out. Jimenez, his first plate appearance. That was for Albert Pujols. 1 out, and it'll bring up Sean O'Malley.
Mauer has a power fastball. He has the chance to be a very consistent pitcher at the major league level, whether it's out of the bullpen, which he seems to be more comfortable, and still potentially a starter for Seattle.
It seems like he's more and more comfortable in the in this role out of the pen, where he can just air it out and not even think about it, having to set up guys. Now that goes down swinging for the second out.
Still hard to believe that Mauer and Garrett Cole both at Orange Lutheran High School. That's a pretty good staff.
Yeah. Langer working with them at that time?
I think he just missed them at that point. Still might have stuck around if he had both of those guys as the head coach.
There's John McDonald. First plate appearance. Oh, just over 40,000 here today for game number 162. McDonald gets into one out to left field. Dustin Ackley moving out. And he'll put it away as the Angels go down in order. 7th inning stretch time here in Seattle. Mariners on top 4-0. Insurance. Get a fast free quote at mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you can save. By Jack in the Box and Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Hyundai. The all-new Sonata is here. Visit buyhyundai.com. Starting out to be a beautiful day here in Seattle. Unfortunately for the Halos, they trail it 4-0. And Mike Scioscia's brought in another left-hander. Wade LeBlanc takes over for Hector Santiago, who ended up working 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk for Santiago. LeBlanc here in the 7th inning will face Miller, Morales, and Seager. Those are the scheduled batters. You figure Wade will pitch the next 2 innings here, assuming everything goes accordingly.
An audition for him also for a potential postseason spot.
Brad Miller took over for Robinson Cano in the 6th. His first plate appearance. 221 average, 10 home runs, and 36 runs batted in.
A much better feel for his breakable mechanics. Very solid, not overthrowing.
A lot more relaxed on the mound, confident.
I had a conversation with him today earlier about what he thought about this game today. He was hoping at one point just the other day that he might be getting a start in this game, but then he thought he was just hoping he got an opportunity to be able to pitch in this game, though, for sure.
Called strike 3. Down goes Miller. 1 out. Like we said, now that it is just another game, better swing the bat.
Yeah, you're not a good idea to take those borderline pitches.
As Morales comes to the plate, he's 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the 4th. Ground ball to third. Beckham has it. Two down. Kyle Seager coming up now. Seager 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. Halos have managed 2 hits today. A single by Pujols in the 1st and a single by Conger with 1 out in the 6th. And that was against Brandon Maurer. Phillies has got the start. 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, 5 1/3 for the right-hander. Bouncer to the right side. O'Malley's got it. Prone back to the bag, and a 1-2-3 inning for Wade LeBlanc. We head to the 8th, 4-0 Mariners. Photos, hashtag WestFanPhotos, so it could be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Robin Young with the Albert Pujols bobblehead. 500 home run, which happened in the nation's capital. 499 and 500.
Who had a fun day today themselves, a no-hitter.
Yep.
Like Jordan Zimmerman. What a play in the outfield, too, to end it.
Joe Bible, the lefty, takes over on the mound. Clean-shaven Joe Bible. Guess he's ready for the offseason. 55 games this year, 3-1 record at 2.22 ERA. He's done a nice job for them. Scheduled to face Campana, Navarro, and Crone for the Angels. Looks like Grant Green is going to pinch hit here for Tony Campana. Green will take over at second. O'Malley will find his way out to the outfield with Bosch taking over at center. One ball, one strike. Just two hits, the only two base runners the Angels have had today. Halos on the verge of finishing the season the way it started, via a sweep at the hands of the Seattle Mariners.
The thing got hot right after that.
Like how you're thinking?
Yes.
2 one-run losses. This one pulled to third. Nice play by Seager on the back, and that ball jumped up on him. 1 out.
Backhand tough hop. Seager's been great at third base for Seattle this season. 2 top teams as far as fielding percentage in the American League here today, Seattle and the Angels.
Effort Navarro gone the distance out of left field. 0 for 2. Sort of breaking ball for strike. Looking ahead to that Thursday beginning of the division series, although nothing official, but Jared Weaver more than likely getting the start for the Angels. If it's Kansas City, more than likely get left-hander Danny Duffy going for the Royals.
Maybe Jason Vargas.
This one line to center to single.
First baseman C.J. Cole.
And if it's Oakland, probably Jeff Samardzija. Now Lloyd McClendon's going to go out and make a pitching change here. C.J. Crone due up. Bible departs in a 4-0 Seattle lead. season, and all the regulars are pretty much out of the ball game.
What impressive company. Mike Trout led the AL in runs in 3 straight years. It lasts 100 years. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout. That's some pretty good names.
Figure he is the leading candidate for American League Most Valuable Player. Victor Martinez certainly will get some votes.
Got to be the MVP.
Yoervis Medina comes into the ball game with 1 out, 1 on. Floyd McClendon, I guess, going with matchups here in a 4-0 game in the 8th. Medina pitched last night. C.J. Cron is 0 for 2. Strikeout, back into third, and a ground out to short. That was in the 6th inning. Cron lifts one out toward left center field. Ackley calling for it. Jones calls him off. And he just dropped the baseball. Oh, they're ruling that an out.
One on the transfer.
If it was a transfer. Yeah, that was a transfer there.
Well, remember, that came into play early in the season.
Right here.
Yes.
Josh Hamilton. And that's before they revamped the rule that didn't need to be revamped.
So true. But it's good now.
Let's pick this rule and tweak it this year randomly. 2 outs. Earlier this year, that would have been safe. That would have been a no play. Error on Jones.
I think they'll revisit that play at the plate. They've kind of tweaked that a little bit too, as far as blocking the plate, the path of the plate. Overall, I think they did a pretty good job as far as replay.
Yeah. Off the end of the bat, foul. 1-1. I mean, really, to clarify that home plate collision rule, just keep it simple. You can't block the plate if you don't have the baseball. And then now just let the game play out.
Or if the guy's halfway down the line and they're getting the ball towards the plate, it's you can't call him safe just because he's in that path towards the plate. And they finally clarified that also.
Right. I mean, all of that is to avoid injuries. I mean, you can call it the Buster Posey rule, essentially, because that's what it is. But instead of focusing on that, because it's not as if catchers are going down with broken legs every other day because of collisions, you better start figuring out the whole concussion situation for catchers.
Especially when dealing with those foul balls back on the mask.
Yeah, that's becoming more of an issue than collisions at the plate.
And you would think they'd be able to do something with that with the mask, because even in hockey there's a lot of that going on as far as concussions and doing. And the same thing in football with that extra padding in the helmets. Might see that more so in the mask for a catcher.
And a walk, but it's 2 men on. And Gordon Beckham coming up. First walk issued by a Mariners pitcher today. No action in the Angels pen, so as we expected, it's Wade LeBlanc coming back out for the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Felix Hernandez ends up with 248 strikeouts and just 46 walks on the season for Felix Hernandez.
Now the pitching coach, Rick Waits, is going to go out. Stick around after the last out. Angels Live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Be on your televisions. after the last out.
Charlie Furbush warming up now in the bullpen for Seattle.
One ball, one strike. Beckham a strikeout, Beckham in the 6th. Beckham, this one down the right field line. Saunders moving over, and he runs out of room. Check swing and went around, and the 8th is in the books for the Angels. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Seattle still leads it. Hey folks, this October all the hard-hitting action of the NHL returns to Southern California. On Getzlaff and the Ducks kick off the regular season against Sidney Crosby and the Penguins on Thursday, October the 9th. Then the reigning Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings face off against the Coyotes on Saturday, October the 11th. Keep it tuned to Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket. You won't miss a moment of SoCal hockey this season.
Boy, that's some serious action to start the season. Both the Ducks and the Kings.
All occurring while the Angels are in the postseason.
There'll be a lot of traffic down in that area by the Big A and Honda Center.
Logan Morrison 2 for 3. He'll be followed by Saunders and Zunino. Wade LeBlanc his second inning of work. Grant Green does stay in the game. He takes over in left as Bosch moves over to center and Navarro to right.
First career game in center for Brendan Bosch.
John Buck takes over behind the plate. Started the season with Seattle, their organization.
And Bosch is really trying to shade that sun in his eyes in center field.
Two. Check swing. Did not go. Full count. LeBlanc had himself a 1-2-3 7th. Halos in the ninth, and Bosch, Jimenez, and O'Malley do up. Ground ball to the right side, and C.J. Cron will take it himself. One down. Saunders has had himself a good game. 2 for 2 and a walk. 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in. One ball, no strikes on Saunders. That was 11 doubles on the year. A loss today, and the Angels will finish their road record with a 46-35 mark. A win today, completing the sweep for Seattle, would give them a 1 game over 500 finish here at home at 41-40. Did really well out of the road. Two balls, 1 strike. Halos with the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 3-1 now. Mike Zunino, the catcher, on deck. Breaking ball in there. Full count. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Saunders. 2 outs.
High fastball from LeBlanc. Going upstairs, getting a swing and miss.
Two outs, nobody on for Zunino. Florida Gator. 1 for 3, and 2 RBI single. That was back in the 4th inning. Oh, 1. Pulled foul. He loves that pitch on the inside part of the plate.
Certainly a solid defender behind the plate. Good power.
Goes down swinging, and we will head to the ninth here in Seattle. The Angels down 4-0. The Angels today did a terrific job defensively. We saw it early on with Howie Kendrick and Eric Guybar, but on the season, just 83.
Yeah, it's a new record for the Angels. Record back in 2009, 85 errors made, but that was the stress put on in spring training. Fundamentals, better defense, certainly has paid off as the Angels have the best record in baseball. Part of the reason why? Been that fielding this season.
Danny Farquhar takes over on the mound here for Seattle to pitch the ninth inning. Bosch, Jimenez, and O'Malley. The three batters scheduled to face Danny Farquhar. Right-hander pitched last night, went 2/3 of an inning. 66th game, 3-1 mark at 2.57 ERA. And Brennan Bosch will lead things off. This obviously our last game of the 2014 campaign. I want to thank you for allowing us into your homes. It's been a fun season. And now the postseason begins on Thursday.
The real season.
Yeah. Post-game shows will occur after each postseason game, so we'll stick around. And after the games are shown, to flip over to Fox Sports West and catch the fellas, break it all down for you, interviews and the like.
Great crew we got to work with the entire season, both at home and on the road.
Luis Jimenez popped out in his first at bat. Count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Base hit by Bosch, the 4th for the Angels. This one fouled back. Just below the radio booth. Terry Smith and Mark Langston next door. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think Terry was ready to jump up and grab that baseball. Had to come in the booth.
There's no question.
Wrecking ball. And he went around, 1 out. Bosch takes off, and O'Malley fouls it off to the left. Sean struck out on the 7th in his first plate appearance. Been in the game since the 5th. Felix Hernandez in line for his 15th win as Bosch takes 2nd. Corey Rasmus got the start for the Angels. Pitched into the 4th and allowed 2 runs. 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. 1 and 2. And down goes O'Malley for the 2nd out. The Angels down to the last out of the regular season. And it's John McDonald coming to the plate.
Let's see Johnny Mack get a base hit.
McDonald has 1 plate appearance today and hit a fly ball to deep left that Ackley tracked down. 1-0. McDonald pulls one into left field, and the Angels will not be shut out on the last game of the season. Johnny Mack on his way to 2nd with an RBI double.
Oh, I like to see that from Johnny Mack. All the guys in the dugout clapping for him.
I think they want the baseball. It may be his last major league hit. He is contemplated or talked about potentially hanging up after this season.
It's great to see the fellas in the dugout all excited for that one.
2nd double of the year. At his 5th run batted in. Grant Green looks at a strike. Grant grounded out in the 8th inning. In the hole now at 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Over 40,000 here in Seattle on the day that started very promising for the Mariners. A chance to get in the wild card. Texas won. Seattle will win, but they will fall short. Although they do pick up the win today as they sweep the Angels to finish up the regular season. 4-1 the final today.
Yeah, but the bottom line is for the Angels, they're going to the postseason game 1 of the ALDS on Thursday at the Big A. That's the most important thing. Got some at-bats today. Made it through it healthy. That's important.
Yep. 4-1 the final. Seattle wins it. We thank you for watching all season long, and we ask you to stick around one last time. Angels Live postgame is coming up next.